beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin for those of you who are new here. So today I'm going to be going through one of my personal favorite videos to watch with bullet journaling and my favorite ones to create monthly plan with me's. So I'm going to be going through my July 2021 theme, and it is going to be like this plant, kind of like decorative shelf, wall kind of vibe. That's what we're getting into today. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you can be notified when I post next. And stay tuned to the very end where I'm shouting out one of you guys. All right, let's hop on to the video. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I love using my Mircon 05 pen. Well, I have to let you know that I ended up using the 005 pen in these spreads as well. Don't worry, it is from Mircon, but basically I wanted to get a more of a delicate look with the plants in this month's Plan With Me. Everything, of course, will be linked in the description box down below if you are interested in knowing exactly what supplies I used for my bullet journals and specifically what supplies are used for each spread. Just take a peek down there. If you are new to bullet journaling, I'm hoping that this is going to help you be as not nervous to just jump right into the one that you're starting on your own. I know that when I was a beginner to bullet journaling, I was really nervous and had a lot of the designs online that I saw from creators were a little bit intimidating. This one that I'm showing you today is just plants. They're all relatively simple in the sense that they are basic shapes of circles, squares, triangles, and a lot of squiggles to make the actual plants. I decided to go a bit out of my comfort zone and try gluing in some scrap pieces of craft paper in the title page. I ended up getting the craft paper just from a grocery bag, so I didn't end up going out to buy it. That is something you guys can keep in mind too if you're ever lurking around for some new stationery supplies. Use what you have at home. Now, it wouldn't be a bullet journal of mine without a quote page, but more importantly, it wouldn't be a bullet journal of mine without making some sort of oops in here, so I ended up spelling out my quote wrong. It should say grow as we go, but I was in the zone. I was listening to music and it said grow as we grow. I do have a video on how to fix simple mistakes, but the one thing that I'm showing you here is just taking a white pen. I ended up using the Acrylograph paint marker from Archer and Olive here just to fix that lettering oops. My tip to you is if you do make some sort of mistake in your journal and you do use this technique, just wait for the marker to dry or the gel pen, whatever you end up using, and go around to the rest of the spread to allow it time to dry. Moving on to the next page I'm going to be showing you is how I set up my bullet journal monthly spread. I've kept the theme going with that craft paper and then the green accent from the Crayola pack. I love doing calligraphy styles in my bullet journal, but an easy way to change up your writing style is to add in different elements. I talked a bit about this in my lettering video in the past, but here in the title July, you can see that I've added this hatching downstroke to the calligraphy style to add a little bit more fanciness to the spread. There's really a whole bunch of different monthly layouts options that you can be choosing for, but for me, I like to organize mine in a box grid style. I find it gives me the most amount of room to, plan out the super busy lives we seem to be having in the midst of 2021. But actually things are starting to slowly open up, so I'm optimistically leaving room in this one's layout. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to doing this summer? Let me know in the comments down below. I know that I'm hoping to go out camping, so fingers crossed that that can happen. Just finishing off the monthly layout here in the bullet journal, I added in some accent colors and doodled in some more of those plants. If you watched me set up my bullet journal last month, you'll see that I came up with 3 different goals, and I found myself actually not prioritizing them as much as I wanted to. So in planning out my bullet journal this month, instead of having a little section on my monthly page, I wanted to have a whole section where I could prioritize these goals. I said, okay, Caitlin, you gotta write them down and actually write how you're gonna accomplish those goals this month. How to make planning out your bullet journal work for you just sometimes requires a little bit of trial and error. So I'll let you guys know how this ended up working for me in next month's Plan With Me video and whether or not I'm going to be incorporating it again there. On the right hand side of the page here, you can see that I'm including habits that I want to track for the month. I'm specifically trying to tie my habits to my monthly goals. So I want to walk, I want to read, hydrate, and learn something new on Skillshare. What to track in your planner really does ultimately depend on what you'd like to get done. I like to keep it simple around 4 habits. That way I don't get lost in all the commotion. At the bottom of the page here, you can see I ended up adding in some plants plants or decorative shelves. It has plants, books, an old-fashioned clock. Actually, the clock kind of reminds me a bit of Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. Anybody else thinking that, or am I just way out of left field here? Just to help make everything stand out on the tracker page, I included a thicker line just on the outside of each item on the shelf. And of course, to top it all off, I ended up using that craft paper for the boxes where my goals are going. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be tracking for my goals this month, but I may try the ones from last month's over again. So to help me reach those goals, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It really does help support my channel to grow, and you'll be notified when I post next. Another different type of tracker that I like to use in my book is a memory tracker or a monthly favorites. Especially as of late, it's really nice to just kind of look back and see what happens each month and the small things that I was appreciative of. This month's layout is a little different in comparison to last, as I ended up deciding not to do a doodle each day. What I noticed after bullet journaling for a while last month is that I tended to be drawn to writing down what happened instead of actually doodling it. But I will say that that final spread from June's memory tracker looked really cute with all the daily doodles. Keeping it simple with just alternating between the Crayola and the Tombow brush pens and having a little accent with the craft paper at the bottom of the page. Honestly, I actually think that this is one of my favorite layouts for the month just because of how minimal the bullet journal spread is and how easy it was to set up. Last but not least, in the 2021 July plan with me, I'm going to show you how I set up my bullet journal weekly spreads. I've recently done a video on how to set up quick and easy weekly spreads in under 10 minutes, and we'll have that linked for you guys if you're interested on more ideas and different layouts. That being said, this one is also a simple bullet journal weekly spread. On the side here, I just have a note section, which I tend to use if my dailies run out of space, or if there's something that I want to get done that week but don't have an exact day for a certain task. And then the classic craft paper, which I changed my mind part way through and tried a black lettering style instead of the white. You know, we gotta go with the flow here, change things up a little bit last minute. I ended up going back into the video actually after it was recorded and put some drop shadows under that craft paper boxes too, just to add a little something extra and bring the spread together. I ended up adding some elements to the theme, of course, with those hanging baskets with my 2 Mircon pens, and I did 3 different planters here. For the vine-like plant, my little tip is to do some squiggles to get the look that I have here. But that's really all that I have for setting up my bullet journal, and hopefully this inspires you to start your first bullet journal if you are new, but also provides some inspiration if you have been journaling for a while. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you, Meg, for subscribing to the channel. And if you guys would like your own shout out, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. It really does help support my channel to grow. And if you have any suggestions, make sure to leave them in the comments as well. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.